My friend, welcome to the world's best kept secret podcast, a podcast that brings you exclusive interviews from experts all over the world with life-changing work that you didn't even know existed. I'm your host, Prima Jobs, a partner for those that are ready to take their life-changing work in front of those whose life or business depends on it. Please follow or subscribe for more. Hey, my friend, welcome once again to another episode of the Uncommon Market Disruptor podcast. This is your podcast if you feel like you're the best kept secret out there. Your story matters. People want to have your perspective about life, about business, about things. People want to know the things you've gone through. People want to know the lessons you've come across on your journey. And people want to learn from you. The worst thing that can happen to any human being is die a best kept secret. And so I am making it my mission to make sure you're not one of those people who die with a book inside of them, who die with a course inside of them, who die with an amazing program inside of them. The world needs you, my friend, and welcome to this one, because hopefully I will challenge you today to go out there and start showing up and start sharing your swing on things. In today's episode, I have a very special guest. I believe you will love her. If you're a mother, if you have children, if you've encountered some losses, if you are being held hostage by imposter syndrome, going like, who am I to publish a book? Who am I to share my story? Who cares about my story? My guest today is going to challenge you. I know you're here for business advice. I know you're here for coaching advice, but there's no coaching without you. I know that your business is not able to grow past your own growth as a human being. And so I'm very intentional in helping you become the person who can build the business that you're trying to build. The strategy will come, and that's amazing. But I know what else you need. The stuff that is not strategy, the stuff that will hold you back, the stuff that will kill the thing you're trying to build before it comes to life, the stuff that will make you quit. And I'm just here to share my own experiences, to share experiences from other people who've gone through thick and thin and made it on the other side, so that you can give yourself permission to stop being the best kept secret. Without further ado, my friend, I'd like to bring on my guest for today. My guest for today is Rebecca Vijay. Is that how you pronounce the name, or do I have it wrong altogether?
Yes, Rebecca Vijay. Thank you.
Okay. My guest today is Rebecca Vijay. Don't worry about getting it so perfect, because I can always go back and cut out any part that I think didn't come out well. So don't worry about being perfect once you speak. If you feel like repeating something, go ahead. Rebecca Vijay, my guest for today. I picked up this guest because I feel like she's so relatable. She's so relatable. Rebecca is someone who lost her infant baby, and that pushed her to writing a bestseller. Imagine the loss of a mother. You lose your baby, not just your baby, but the first one. And you go, what did I do to deserve this? And you go through the trauma, you go through the pain, and you decide, I want to share this story. You pick the courage, you start sharing this story. It becomes a bestseller. It starts changing lives. And you go, maybe this is something. Maybe there's a woman like me who feels the same. Maybe there's a woman like me who has this story. They don't know if anyone is interested in the story. And it's my mission to help them turn this story, turn this pain into a bestseller. That's the work Rebecca does. She helps you turn your story, turn your pain, turn whatever circumstance you think is not worth sharing into a bestseller. And today I'm going to dive in and really get her thought process and get how she does it, and really just begin to pick her genius and her courage and her brevity of how she has done all of this. And I really hope that it will be an amazing one for you. Rebecca, welcome. I'm excited to have you today.
Thank you so much. It's my absolute pleasure to be here today. Thank you for inviting me.
I think I took some of your story away, but nevertheless, I would love you to dive into how you started all of this. And I particularly love how you came to writing My Angel in Heaven, which is, I think, my favorite part of your work. So if you could take us back in that moment, and we can take like 5-10 minutes going over that, because I know there's a mother out there whose trauma might look different, whose loss might be looking different. Maybe the husband has left, maybe she has cancer, maybe that the situation might be different, her baby might be different. And I want them to listen from you and kind of process what is possible for them.
Thank you. So when we, started out as newlyweds, we went through a period of PCOS, and we had fertility issues, etc. And in a few months, we got the news that we were expecting twins. So you can imagine how ecstatic we were, and uh, also scared, because twins means more responsibility, more taking care of the finances. How will we keep up, etc. But there was never a doubt. There was never any question, because God has brought us here, and he'll bring us out of it. Just like my namesake in the Bible, Rebecca had twins. So that was like one of my dreams, and God had made that happen. And there were a lot of ups and downs during the pregnancy, as it was a high risk one. And I had to go on a bed rest much sooner. My due date was in June, but I was put on bed rest since March, so that there's no premature delivery. And everything seemed to be going fine, when suddenly in one April night, I started having severe bleeding and all. And we thought it was just a routine issue, that we were going to the doctor. We never thought that it's the delivery time. And we went, and the doctor said that the children are coming. And for me, like, God has really blessed me with painless deliveries, kind of. Like, I don't have severe pain. So it used to be the doctor who used to tell me that, okay, see, that is a contraction. That is how it is. They're going to be coming soon and all. And I think early morning, 2 and 2:05, the little ones were born. And we were so happy, so excited. And in the morning, all the friends and family had come, and everyone was excitedly, uh, you know, cooing over the children and all. And then everyone was so exhausted that, most of the people left, like my parents, my husband and all. They're like, okay, everything has come on well, so let's just relax and we'll come back later. And suddenly my son started having some breathing issues, and he wasn't able to take in milk. He wasn't able to latch on. And it was thought that, there might be some issues. So we were feeding him with the bottle. And even that he wasn't able to take on. So my aunt and my friend who was along with me, they decided to take him to a nearby children's super specialty hospital. So they took him there, and I continue to be in my own world, in a way that my daughter was with me. Both of them were born in the 31st week, and they were very underweight. And I was so happy. So I was like texting people that, I have been blessed with twins, and this is happening. At the same time, I was exhausted with all the blood loss and all. And nobody told me that there was something else going on in the background. And I was told that, they're getting, he's getting better, there's no issue and all. while he was on the ventilator at that time, and I had like absolutely no idea. And later on, on the third day afternoon, suddenly I am told that, he has passed away. And that was such a shock. I mean, I don't have any other word for that, because I was being told by a lot of people that he's getting better, that, he'll be back soon, there'll be no issues. And I'm like, how could I not feel it? How could I not know that there was something wrong, that he's, like, um, going through such a phase, and I like never got to hold them together. I never got to take pictures with them. I never got to, like the list of what ifs. There were like so many what ifs about what all didn't happen. And suddenly I was supposed to like just kind of switch it off, like because my daughter depended on me, and her she was just a 3-day old, very weak child. And they didn't allow me to go to the funeral, because they're like, daughter could contract any infection, and I need to be kept in a quarantine, both of us. So on the day that the funeral was taking place, we got discharged and we both were going home. But it was like totally surreal, like what's happening, like how it happened, why it happened. And it was like unbelievable time. And within 2 more days, my daughter had like high levels of bilirubin, so high levels of jaundice. And then she had to go through her entire blood being taken out and replaced, like blood transfusion. And, it was a stage like, will she also survive? It's just the fifth day. On the third day, my son passed away. On the fifth day, all this is happening and all. And the doctors were like, she will not survive. And, even if she does, she won't be able to speak, like read properly, do maths, do English, do other things. And my dad was like, no way, in the name of Jesus, I proclaim that she will be healthy and there'll be no issues. So it was like a harrowing time. And the first 5 years of my daughter's life, like because of the prematurity, a lot of complications, we used to keep going to the hospital on and off. But through it all, I continued to go to work, and I continued to uh, try my best to function in such a kind of like new normal and unreal world for me. And later on, almost 8 years after that, when my younger son was born, and I had quit my job with Oxford University Press, and I was, like exploring ways in which I could make a difference. So I got started with blogging, then self-publishing. My first blog was My Angel in Heaven. I published it on the day of my son's 7th death anniversary. And when I started wanting to write my book, I chose that as my first book topic, My Angel in Heaven. And in 2017, I brought out that book. It covers my journey through his death, the grief, the comfort and hope that I found in God, and how He took me out of those miry places. And it touches a lot of issues that people don't really talk about, like infant loss, child loss, pregnancy loss, stillbirth, etc. And after that book came out, and I, like used to speak about it with a few people, or people themselves used to come and speak to me and share about their children. Like I was part of their circle, and I never knew that they had lost a child. So they used to, open up about their precious memory of their children. And, like I've like cried with so many people, lot of women, but also men as well. And it's been uh, amazing how a book, how, you think that your story is not, polished enough, refined enough, but then, it's the vulnerabilities, it's the moments when you're in those dark places where others find your journey to be enlightening, to know that they themselves are not alone, that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. And my book helped a lot of bereaved parents find some peace, find some comfort. And it became a number one bestseller on Amazon, US, UK, India, and Australia. And even now, that book continues to be an inspiration, and people have spoken to me about it. And and I guess that's how my journey as a publisher started, because me sharing my story helped many others to come up with their own personal experiences. And now I help bring out those voices, bring out those stories, I give a platform so that those stories can be brought out, can be amplified. Uh, and everybody goes through a unique experience. And, if we keep suppressing those, there is someone somewhere out there waiting to hear our story, waiting to, like they're just a few steps behind us. And to know that we have traveled on that path, and we have maybe the keys to their locks, their solutions to their problems. So it's our prerogative to, go ahead, share our stories, share our the journeys when we are at our lowest, so that we can help lift someone up. And it's and like my angel in heaven is not just about, like, it could also be about someone you lost when, like at an adult age, or your parents, or your friends, or your siblings, or someone. And it's about how God has provided us that hope, that even though they have gone away, they will not come back to meet us. But like David said, that we will go and meet them soon. So that is the hope that we have, that soon and very soon we will be reunited with them.
I really love your story. Like, loss comes in different ways. As you said, infant, child, can be anything else. But in that moment, you can feel like you're alone, like everything is gone. There's nothing for you. But then I'm just wondering, at what point did you decide to take this pain and turn it into a book? Because I think the courage to come out of the pain and the sobbing and go, okay, I'm going to make a book out of this. I'm going to make something out of this. That can be like the hardest bit. When, at what point did you decide, okay, it is what it is, but what can I make of it? At what point did you decide, I'm going to start sharing this and I'm going to turn it into something? Tell us about that thought process and how you kind of came out of that. I would call that rock bottom, how you came out of that and gathered your strength to start documenting that journey.
So they were born in April 2009. And in April 2016, I wrote my first blog about my son on his seventh death anniversary. So it took me a long time to process and go through all of it. So it kind of just got suppressed, because you are going through your daily grind, your daily chores, and you have your daughter to look after, you have your work to look after. There's so many things happening, and people are like, get over your grief. There is nothing there, like, especially in the early 1 or 2 years, it was like, don't worry, God will give you another child. You'll get another son within, this year or something. So the point was not that I lost my son only. It was like we lost our twins. We lost our, my daughter's twin soulmate. And we had that complete family, like four of us. And, that got uh, taken away. And then, everywhere I would turn, there would be like some like twins running around, which I didn't really notice earlier. And like a lot of questions, like why did this happen? And it's why couldn't I have maybe just had a single pregnancy? Then it would not have been a high risk pregnancy. But having gone through that, why did this happen? So it took a lot of time to kind of process all of that. And all the guilt, the blamings that everywhere twins are getting born. There's no issue. How could you guys let this happen? What did you not take care of? What did you do wrong? And like all the noises all around. So when I brought that book out in the 8th year, it was around Mother's Day. And the week before Mother's Day is actually bereaved Mother's Day. And so out around that time. And also, like, I've been part of a lot of Facebook groups where women are bereaved mothers. They have been a part of those groups. So sharing my story there and also listening to their stories gave me this motivation or this idea that this can be shared, and that I am not the only one who's going through such a thing. And maybe the others don't have a voice as yet. They might not be able to, say it in that way. So, like, yeah, so it took me 8 years. And after that, I had a coach with me who really helped me to focus. And he helped me get that book out. And it was um, like they say, right? Writing is a therapeutic journey. So putting those words to paper and bringing out my journey really helped, but it took a long time.
I love it. The question I think which I have for you is, in the 7 years, in the 8 years, in that time when you were thinking about your pain and plugging yourself in community, which I really think was really good. There's communities of people going through the things that you are going through right now. And if you feel isolated, there's no reason to do that. Like, there's a million Facebook groups full of people who are exactly going through what you're going through and worse. So I would imagine the first step is get yourself in a community, get yourself in a little family of people who really understand your problem, of people who have gone past that traumatic experience and are like at a point where they can share, because that can begin to show you that, one, it's not the end of the world, and two, some people have gone through that and they're still living. And forming yourself a little family outside of your normal family might be the best thing you can ever do. Like the work I do, no one in Uganda knows it. My family have no idea. And so I had to kind of find a community for myself of people who understand what it means to feel compelled to serve, to feel compelled to go out in the world and start doing things that may not look normal in your country. Rebecca is in India and she's doing something only that has been inspired by being around people who were doing better. The part that I wanted to ask is, in the 7 years, in the 8 years, did anyone help you through that process, that trauma, the releasing of the trauma, or did you use time to heal that part? Because there is you being broken, and then there is you saying, yeah, this is a book and people need to listen to it. Those are two different women. The broken woman who is like falling apart and the woman who is a best-selling author. Those are two different women. And so I'm wanting to pull out like what happened there. Did you have like other people helping you? Did you have like therapy? Did you have like trauma healing? Or did you just go through it as a mother and let the years do the job? What was your process there?
Frankly, I never went in for trauma healing or therapy. It's mostly been sharing with our pastors and people. In fact, in the early days of my daughter, I was kind of in a like a COVID quarantine. It was a quarantine technologically as well, in the sense that people were asked not to talk to me. They used to come home, but they were like, don't go there. You might spread the infection, or don't talk to her on the phone, etc. So I was kind of in like four walls in the house, as well as unable to reach anyone externally. And in that time, phones were not those smartphones where I could, really connect with people. But yeah, I think it's like one like our pastor at that time. He was like, try to separate the two. Like my daughter's birthday, like my children's birthday is on the 20th of April, and his death anniversary is on the 22nd. So he was like, don't, I mean, it is like a controversial viewpoint, but he's like, don't try to bring his, like, keep the 2 days separate. Like on 20th, spend time with your daughter, let her have that day as her own, like her birthday. And on 22nd, which is the death anniversary, that time you have that day earmarked for your son. So on that day, like we go to the cemetery and we visit his grave. But through the days, we also like we've been open with our daughter that this happened, and she's also read the book. She's also shared about it with her friends, and she's like, I have a brother who's in heaven. So having that open conversations helped, and also trying to find uh, about it in God's word rather than therapy and all, because like in India as such, we do not really have much on mental health and getting out of that. Even like when I lost my mom during the second wave of COVID, it was like such a like a downward spiral that I went through, and it's been crazy, but yeah, I haven't had that external trauma therapy or healing or anything.
I love that you shared that because, like in Uganda, where I am, inner healing, trauma healing, therapy, those things are not here. You'll find someone like the people who are here are just winging it. Like they're not proper skilled trauma healers, therapists. And all of those people, they're not here. And so if you're in a country like that, there's always other channels. There's a pastor, there's a priest, there's other ways. We don't have those things, but we have people here who are gifted to pray for you and release a healing for you. And so I think it's really a matter of finding, where do you find your help? What's the most practical way for you to get help? Is it the church? Is it a priest? Is it a pastor? Who is it? Is it therapy? Is it a healer? Who is going to help you? I don't think there's anything I can add there, but getting help is the first step, and whatever that looks like. Everyone processes differently. She took 7 years. 7 years. And I think that if she had like external help, other things, other tools that we have today, she probably would have gone through it much faster. And so she took 7 years, so you don't have to, because now there's ways to do it faster. But I honestly believe that everything God puts in your life is there for a reason. And sometimes we go through things because God really wants us to birth the purpose that is on our heart. And the only way that he gets us to do that is to take us through pain. And honestly, I'm a believer that there's nothing that happens to anyone by mistake. I'm a strong believer that whatever happens to you is in your life so that another person or other people can use that to change their lives. I want to make a little pivot now and get into the quick fire type of question where we now really sit in your genius and serve people from there. At this moment, we are talking to someone on the other side who has gone through some problems, some troubles. Maybe they've healed, maybe they haven't. And they're contemplating, like, is my story worth sharing? Does anyone want to hear this? Can I be a bestseller? Things like that. And what I want you to now step in is, what would you tell that person if you had a minute or two? And I was on the fence going, I went through this cancer thing, but I know, like, who cares about that? Why should I even share it? Who wants to hear it? I want you to speak into that person's life right now. What would you tell them?
I think the main thing is stop thinking about people who would judge you, who would belittle you, who would maybe in their own way make fun of what you're trying to do, what you're trying to achieve. Forget all those people. They are not the people your story is meant to be for. Even if there is one person who is going through what you have been through, and they can, find a little bit more peace, their heart is lighter by your sharing their story. Think of that person. Keep that person in your mind, and then see how much of a help you're sharing your story, you're sharing your low points, your vulnerable moments, how you got out of it, why you did what you did, what was the first step that you took, how did you reach there. Those things can help a person who doesn't have any hope, who's brought down by all the noise and negativity of the world. They are in their chaotic, depressed world. Think of them. Have that person in your mind. Block out all the people who you think will maybe talk behind your back, or be judgmental and have 101 things to say when they have not really gone on that path. They have not been on that journey, and they have not reached where you want to reach. So your impact is going to be on people who are your tribe. So focus solely on that. Focus solely on the people who you are meant to serve. God has so many ways where he turns our pain into a purpose, our mess into a message, our test into a testimony. So instead of focusing on me, let's focus on the person whom we can serve and how best we can share. What do they need?
I love it. I love it. My question is now, like, okay, you were lucky to be into communications, into publishing, even way before that problem. So somehow you understood how to communicate. You understood how to get your words and put them on paper. You may not have understood how to write a book, but you kind of understood this work. If I'm just a mother who had a similar traumatic experience or something else, and I'm not even like a writer, you know, I don't even see myself as someone who can put together, like, I have no idea. What are the baby steps? What should I do now to kind of take that next step to sharing my story? Like, what is step one? What is step two? What is step three? Until I get to that point where I can really go, I could be a bestseller. Maybe now it's time to look for Rebecca and really ask her to tell me how I become a bestseller. But before you see yourself a bestseller, sometimes you may not even see yourself as worth sharing anything. And sometimes you may not even see yourself as a book writer. I speak about this because now I'm talking about myself. Like, I know I want to write a book, but that book is still inside me. I feel like I've never hit a spot where I go, this is the book. I'm releasing the book now. I feel like there is a book in me, but it needs to be the book the world needs, not any book I feel inspired to write. And so I have personally never reached that point where I feel, yes, this is the book of my life, and I want to put this book out there. And I want you to kind of take us through that in a minute or two. Like, what is that process? They have a tragedy that now is visible to them, is tangible to them. I think they have a better place than me, who's like, okay, is it going to be about business? Is it going to be about personal branding? Is it going to be about against all odds, how to build these things from Uganda? There's so many books I could write, but for me in my head, I'm like, which one? But I think the problem she has is I know the trauma that I went through. I know the story. I know what I could write about. So what is my step 1, 2, and 3? Speak to her, I think. And if I think I will come to you for coaching for my problems, but speak to this lady who kind of has a clear thing they could speak about. And how do they birth that into, okay, now I'm clear of what I'm doing.
Sure. So first thing I would urge them is that don't think of book writing as a huge, unattainable task. These days, it's very easy to, write a book. You have a lot of tools, support, coaches, masterminds, etc. So that kind of thing is there. If you think that your maybe English is not that great, your language skills are not that great, don't worry. There are professionals like editors, proofreaders, etc. Even development editors, copy editors, who will work with you in getting your story shaped up into the final stage. So, first of all, like development of a book is an entire process. From the ideation, from the writing, to it actually coming out. So don't think of it as, like you just write it on a Word document and that is the one that is coming out. It is not. There are a lot of processes along the way. There are a lot of people along the way who will help you build that book. Your first draft, like a lot of people say, that it is just the sand that you're getting together to build your sand castle. And beautifying that, you have a lot of people around you. So that's one thing. Second thing is, writing is just one word at a time. Whether you write a Facebook post, whether you write a blog, whether you write an article, a novel, a short story, long story, it's all one word at a time. You have to write the first word, then only you can move to the second word. So maybe on days you can write 1 page, on other days, maybe you can write 5 pages. It all will depend on your emotional energy, your busyness at work and house, and a lot of other factors will be there. So don't expect that, every day you can write out maybe 5,000 words. Just go at your own pace. Your story will get birthed when it's due. Don't try to rush the journey. Just give it enough time, enough space. Another point would be just start writing. Schedule it on your calendar. Put a time, like every day, maybe even if it's like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, half an hour, just put it on your calendar. Keep a specific place where you can sit to write, so that when it hits 9 p.m., maybe you can just go to that place and start writing. Writing is not just writing words, writing is also thinking about it, outlining the chapter, uh, thinking about how you can enhance what you have written. And another thing is when you're writing, don't edit, because you might have reached the second chapter of your story, but you want to make it so beautiful that you keep editing. Even after 1 year, you're still on the second chapter. So don't try to edit it till the first draft is complete. Write out the entire story, write out what you want to share from the viewpoint of helping that one reader, that one person who is there waiting for your story. Because your story is going to empower someone, it's going to help them heal, it's going to help them uh, get motivated, get inspired, and that would help them not just in their own personal journey, it would also help them come up in their like family lives, in their life in the community, in the society, and in a lot of other places. So what you are helping them is not just with you sharing their story, but the ripple effect of that is going to be felt much more. It's like very invisible, intangible, but you can rest assured that those ripples are reaching many people, maybe across the world, maybe in that person's family and extended family. But like, your words will not go in vain. It will have an impact on many people.
I love it. I love it. So this is a side one. We have like 9 minutes, and in those 9 minutes, I would want to push in like 5 questions. So it's like rapid fire, which means you have a minute or something to answer the question. So just try and go to your brain and pick the first answer that comes. Doesn't have to be the best. Just give them like an answer which you would give them if you had a minute. Of course, they'll come to you for more. Of course, we'll send them to you for more. But we need to pack in more for them to kind of feel the need to go. Come on, get more. Cool.
Sure.
Rebecca, I love how you've explained that. I think there is someone who once told me that you don't even have to write the book, just speak the book. And so the way that they were explaining, they said every day, take a walk or do something you like and press record and just begin talking. And that's how you write the book. You remember a moment, you press record. You record, you keep going. Maybe you travel from here to the other side. And when you're done talking, you stop. The next day, you think of another moment, you press record, you go, you deliver that moment, you come back. You get all those moments, you transcribe them, or you give them to someone who knows about writing, like Rebecca and Tim, and they do the rest. So if you feel like you're not a writer, like I don't want to write the book, but I know that I want to speak the book. So if you're like the verbal person like me, maybe you may want to think about just speaking the book, which is how can you allow yourself to speak the book? Maybe once a week, take a long walk and speak a chapter or speak a moment that you feel is powerful. And once you've put your most powerful parts together, maybe there are 3, maybe there are 4, look for Rebecca and say, okay, Rebecca, I have these powerful moments. Tell me about the chapters and all the rest of the stuff. I think that way you may easily produce a book. I'm not the book expert. I'm just saying how I would write a book, and I'm not a writer. And so if you're like me, maybe this helps you. We're now moving into the quick fire. And Rebecca is going to answer some quick fire questions. Hopefully that serves you as well. Rebecca, what's the hardest part of doing the work you do?
The hardest part of doing the work is listening to all these stories and like kind of being pulled into their own like trauma, and to hear what people have gone through. And some are still processing, some have gotten over it, but a lot of times people are not ready to share about it. And having that, so I'm like, it's okay, you don't need to share it right now. When it's right for you, you can share it. But yeah, but a lot of times it's knowing that their story can help someone, but they are not ready.
It's powerful because Rebecca, the work she does really is she gets you where you are at and she helps you pull that book out of your own head and turn it into a bestseller. I think it's powerful work because you may not be in the place to share it. You may not be in a place to be vulnerable. And she's the kind of person who's going to walk you through those steps. Take those ideas and kind of get them out of your head into a bestseller. I think the work she does is so powerful. If you give me that work, I probably wouldn't do it because people are not ready sometimes to go through it and through the emotions. And that's what you're asking people to do, to relieve the emotions when you say write a book. You're telling them to go through the pain again. And I don't think that that's the easiest work to do necessarily. Rebecca, my next question is, what do you wish you knew before writing your first book? Or what do you wish you knew before going through everything you've gone through, looking back?
I wish I knew that the journey is not necessarily going to be easy. What we get out of it is in our hands, our response to it, how we take each day as it comes. Do we come closer to God? Do we go farther away from him because of what happened? It all boils down to our inner work, our mindset at that time. And it's easier if we just maybe surrender and feel that okay, this is happening to me, it's happening. I don't know why, I don't know for what, how long I'm going through this, but I know that there is a purpose to this. I know that something good is going to bloom out of it. Like when I look back now, imagine me in 2009 when my son had just died. I would never have imagined that I would be at this position where I'm sharing my story, helping others to share their stories. So your life might be going in a particular trajectory, but there is a purpose that is bigger than just you. So don't fight it. Like, I don't know, like people would have asked me to share my story earlier, I never did, but it took a lot of time to get there.
I love that answer. There's a woman right now who's going through it. They're going through the worst. They're at rock bottom. And you're the only chance they have at going forward, at moving forward with their life, even surviving, going through it. You have a minute, and that is the only time you'll ever have to help them. My angel in heaven is not there. Any books you've written is not there. Your content is not there. Nothing is there. Like they will never access anything else. You have a minute to speak into this woman's life. And after that minute, they'll never see you again because you'll no longer be alive. This is years and years and years into the future, and it's just on your last day. What would you tell this woman who's in the middle of it, rock bottom, and they're like, God, why me? What would be your words of encouragement for this woman? What would they need to go to know that it will be okay? If I know this, I'll go through life and I'll be fine. What would you say?
Just trust that you have been placed here for a purpose, that each of us are here for a limited time. We don't know how much. And we also have that onus of sharing our purpose with others. So it might not be a huge one that you have to start $1 billion company, or you have to impact 1 million people, or like those big things that we see online that people want to do. It could just be you helping yourself move one foot in front of the other and getting through that day. It could be just you helping your family get through that day, get through that week, get through that month, or your community or your church, or people around you. It doesn't have to be taking on a lot of things. It could just be doing one thing, but doing it in such a way that your talents are put to use, and whatever seeds you have sown over all these years, they come out blooming, and your garden helps attract other people, and provides them with that sense of peace, comfort, and you just sit with someone. Like, a lot of times, it's just that you might not even want to talk to anybody, but just sit with them, just share in their happiness, in their grief, in their vulnerability.
Love it.
You don't need much.
Yeah, you've been I really wish that, I really hope that Rebecca has served you. I really hope that you've learned from her pain, her experiences, and really taken away something that is going to help you move forward today. Rebecca has a book. It's a bestseller. It's called My Angel in Heaven. You can access it on Amazon or in your bookshop, in your places where you buy books. It's a bestseller in UK. It's a bestseller in India. It's a bestseller in Australia. And if other mothers think it's been powerful for them, maybe you will find it the same. I'll be sure to link all of the links to get Rebecca's book in the comment section. I think if you buy it for yourself or buy it for someone you know, it may be the only reason that they move through life. And so if Rebecca's story has touched you, consider picking up her book or consider gifting it to somebody you think needs to hear Rebecca's story, because you really never know what a difference you can do in someone's life by just buying them a book. Rebecca, I'd love for you to tell the audience where they can go to connect with you if they want to connect, if they want to send a message, if they want to have a chat with you. Where can they find you? Are you on social media? Where can they find you?
Sure, you can find me on Facebook, Rebecca, then letter G, Vijay, or you can find me on LinkedIn, Rebecca Vijay, or Instagram, Rebecca Vijay. And just send me a message and we can chat.
I'll be sure to link everything in the comment section. Rebecca, REBECCA Vijay, VIJAY. She's on Facebook, she's on Instagram, she's on LinkedIn. She responds to her messages. So feel free to reach out. Feel free to have a chat with her. Maybe she's the person you need to get to that place where you feel like there's a story in you and you want to share it. Give yourself permission to do that. It's been an amazing episode. It was very emotional for me listening to Rebecca's story. I hope that this episode has served you in one way or the other. And if you know someone that this episode was meant for, someone that needs to listen to this, please consider sharing this episode. If you get value from this channel, consider subscribing. Let me know what stories you like. Let me know what stories you would love for me to bring on this person again. It's a new podcast, and so your feedback is highly, highly appreciated. I want to know what's working for you, because my intention is to only bring here people that you want to listen to. My intention is to allow you to stop being the best kept secret. My intention is that you will get out and start being seen by the right people. The world needs your swing on things, my friend. And this is your platform. This is your place to give yourself permission to go, I'm done being the best kept secret, and I'm ready to get in the world and do the thing that I'm here to do. I appreciate you hanging out with us today, and I will see you in the next episode. That is it, my friend. To listen to more exclusive interviews like this one, simply go to the world's best kept secret podcast.com and select interviews based on preferred topic.